Today in the crypto space, we see the market going sideways. Bitcoin right about 65,000, Ethereum right about that $3,500 mark, and the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, a mix of green and red, while Near Protocol, Ondo, and Core do very well. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that is looking really bullish. You know why? Because it's going sideways in such bearish conditions, and that project is called Octaspace. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. Overall, we see the market cap kind of going sideways, while there is a bit of trading volume spiking up to the upside after a bit of a cool down period. But nonetheless, we see a lot of the market going kind of sideways with a bit of a dip here happening, right? Bitcoin coming down a little bit, Ethereum also coming down, and the rest of the crypto space, as you can see, either dipping down or continuing to go sideways. I would say that the majority of the market is in a bit of a dip today. Although we have been showing a little bit of green in the last 24 hours, I believe that the majority of the relief that we got to the upside is based on the 4-hour time frame, and on the daily we remain bearish until proven otherwise. So that means that we really need to keep in mind of our time frames. If you're going to be getting in on a short-term time frame, basically 1 hour, the 4-hour, make sure that you exit based on the confluence in the price action based on the 1 hour and the 4-hour. You don't want to be mixing up those time frames, because ultimately that's where that volatility can come back and definitely teach you a lesson. Those tuition fees, they come expensive, so you got to be very careful, trying to bounce around from time frame to time frame in conditions like this where we're kind of going sideways, because this choppy price action is brutal. It could definitely be brutal. Near Protocol is doing pretty good again for today, not too bad. It's up 6.7%. If you missed out on my video the other day, since the bottom that we caught the bottom very nicely, and all of a sudden it's been up, doing very well for Near Protocol. In fact, Near Protocol is probably one of the major gainers in the last little while, so that's pretty good. But as we do see, and we keep on going through this market, there's a bit of negativity today. FET is still doing great, doing awesome, but a bit of negativity in the last little while. And you can see the rest of the market is dipping down ever so slightly, and perhaps maybe coming down to test the bottom of the range. Guys, in this type of condition, I wouldn't be getting into some crazy positions without clear invalidations of the thesis. If you're going to go long, where are you going to put that stop loss? And make sure that stop loss is nice and tight, and that protects your capital, your initial investment. You don't want to be losing too much, so make sure that you have a plan. That setup needs to be very clear. And we can see that a lot of projects, I want to see what Tao's doing. Tao's going sideways, which is pretty okay considering the market getting a bit of that dip. And you can see the rest of the space. Look at this one. Jasmine's grinding to the downside, but Jasmine has been doing very good in the last little bit. So those volume gaps below are definitely gonna act as weakness. And we have Pendle looking strong like always, 18.2% in the last 7 days. Maybe we roll over and come back down to range lows. Guys, I would be buying that dip. I want to find a great entry on Pendle. I'm not sure if the market's going to give it to me, but I definitely am going to be hunting for one. All right, guys, look, generally speaking, we do see some good gainers for today, a bit of green here and there, but generally speaking, we're in a retracement. Now the question is, do we continue this retracement leading into the evening and tomorrow, and maybe leading right into the weekend? Do we continue this dip, or continue the retracement to the downside and see the daily fulfill the trajectory which is bearish at the current moment? All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What's going on here on Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at Octaspace. Bitcoin going sideways is a sign of strength, of course. Bitcoin going sideways should give the altcoins an opportunity. Bitcoin going sideways is definitely what we want to see if we don't want to see the total market cap fall, because Bitcoin as a leading indicator is showing strength as long as we are within structure. Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. As you see, Bitcoin got that nice impulsive move and now is going sideways, you know, pretty much consistently and significantly, right? We did come down for this bottom. We do have that left shoulder. We made a mini inverse head and shoulder right into here. Then we come to the right and look for that right shoulder. In the last little while, we've been getting a bit of negativity, which could suggest a further continuation down and maybe get down to this level. It's very, very possible, which is at about 60,500, give or take. And if we do get that scenario, expect the altcoins to take a bit further continuation down. We will get those dips, guys. Just be careful there with the altcoins. Now, what I'm really more interested in seeing, if I'm going to get into any risky trades, I'm going to be willing to take risk right around here. Of course, with clear invalidation with a stop loss, and expect that bounce. If we see momentum and trend and oversold conditions with bullish divergence and many other indications of expansion to the upside, guys, I'll be interested. But at the current moment, I'm not crazy about it, because we do see that the volatility and momentum are pushing down. Expansion is there, putting down, momentum is pushing down, and volatility is in oversold conditions. So maybe can hang out here for a little while longer before we actually get that bounce. I feel like maybe the momentum or the of the trend may want to get oversold, guys. If it gets oversold, if we see the purple line get oversold, it is very likely that we see a continuation down with some strength, unfortunately. Okay, we haven't really gotten oversold or even overbought in a good little while, which means that we're consolidating. We're getting into a tight range and eventually getting an expansion. That's usually what happens, right? Then we get the expansion and then we go severely overbought. Then we go sideways and then we get an expansion and maybe we get oversold or back to overbought. It all depends, but ultimately here, guys, I anticipate that we might get overbought, given the fact is that Bitcoin's position right now is looking still bullish. It is a massive bull flag, right? So that's that. Let's take a look at the trend. The trend is still facing down. We're getting any signs of weakness from the bears? Not really. EMA is facing down, red histogram bars, and expansion phase full through and through to the downside. So we got to be patient here. Okay, just wait for confirmations on the daily. And I know the 4-hour is giving us lots of good signals in the last little bit, but is it done? Look at this. Is it done? Are we going to get an EMA cross to the downside? Are we going to get another few red histogram bars? Are we going to maintain the bullish divergence for another drive to the upside? It's all very possible, but until maybe the 4-hour, you know, the volatility gets oversold, and maybe we can get into another long position once the orange line gets into oversold conditions. The same way going long right around here would have been pretty good, because really we got a bit of relief to the upside, but we're talking about short-term volatility, very, very weak price action right into this. So be careful, guys, because right now, as long as Bitcoin stays below the previous horizontal support, now acting as potential resistance, as long as we stay below this, guys, this thick yellow white line at 67,300, guys, it looks bearish. As long as we stay below, it's bearish. I'm expecting a full retracement down to this white line. And guys, of course, once we get there, or if we get any signs of support, meaning some sort of structure, I will definitely keep you guys posted with an update. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's take a look at Octa. Octa is the ticker. Octaspace, great project, decentralized processing, part of the DPIN narrative, provides you know, utility for rendering graphics, right? And speaking of rendering, it is a competitor to Render. It's fully decentralized. There's a lot of good things happening. The market cap is ideal. It's not a massive market cap, so there's a lot of opportunity, and I feel like Octaspace needs a bit of attention. Now, what I do like about it, guys, let's get rid of the oscillators here for a second. You can't deny the amount of strength that it takes to kind of withstand the bearishness from Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin market. When we see it falling, this thing's still going sideways without hesitation. It didn't even break below the 50 EMA, right? Broke below, closed candles above it very accurately and very nicely, which means that ultimately this sideways price action should be a sign of strength. Now, we've done it in the past, and then towards the end we did get that little capitulation where we got a few people wrecked and then bounced pretty hard. Now, could that happen again, where we go sideways a little bit, then come down for a bit of a capitulation down to maybe at about $1.50 and then get that bounce again and go for another higher high. Guys, up until now, we've been making higher highs and higher lows, and it's time that Octaspace goes parabolic. We've been seeing this thing slowly climb, and you can see it's taking off like a rocket, like a launch, or like it's ready to launch, and all of a sudden we might just go parabolic, and we want to make sure that we get our entries. Now, I understand that the current moment it does look toppish, right? It does, and I'm going to show you the negative or the bearish scenario. There has to be two lines of thesis, bearish and bullish. There is a bullish, right? Because look at this consolidation looking nice and sideways. It looks like a bull flag. It's using previous price action as support so far. I would have loved to see a little bit more volume into here, but there is some, not enough. But look at these volume bars. Look at all these volume nodes. Lots of volume. Even here is not bad, and we're slowing down with that volume. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And you can see it's confirmed by these histogram bars here at the bottom also that a lot of this has very little volume. We need volume to show that there is market participation involved into here, and that there's bulls buying dips and ready for accumulation for another move to the upside. So if we kind of look at the oscillators, let's see what's going on here. Even though that the price, let's kind of zoom in and let's bring the price into full view. Even though that the price is, kind of going sideways, you can see that even the volatility, the orange line, is getting oversold. So that means that, look, we might come down for another little dip down to about this level, to the previous lows of the volatility line, and then all of a sudden get a reversal to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm really looking forward to, which is at about $1.50. We come down to this level, get that bounce, we go sideways right into here. That's totally fine. That's also a sign of strength if we go sideways, but let's see what kind of bullish response we get once the volatility decides to do a U-turn right here at the bottom of the range and go back to overbought conditions. Now, if it does look great and it goes well, we could see that the momentum get back into overbought conditions. Okay, go for another impulsive move. The only thing that concerns me at the current moment is the amount of divergence, bearish divergence we're getting. Just keep in mind that in bullish conditions, which we could shift from a bearish scenario, which we are in right now, to a bullish one very quickly in a few days, maybe a week, and then all of a sudden continue going, invalidating all this bearish divergence that we're seeing right here. So let me highlight the actual divergences. You can see these higher highs on the price action right here, big picture, lower highs on the momentum. Right into here, we got a divergence, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum. And you can see we're kind of dipping down. So the question is when does this bearish divergence actually kick in? When do we actually get the follow through for this bearish divergence? Because it's bigger and because it's obviously visible on larger time frames, eventually we could see this thing roll over and come down to break below and do again one of these like it did in the past, a bit of a capitulation, come down to this level and get that quick bounce and continue to the upside. All very possible. And you can imagine that if that were to happen, it is likely that we see that the momentum come down for a little bit of a dip as well. It could come down even harder than it did previously. It could come down to oversold conditions, and that means that we can even fall through the volume gap and come down to about 93 cents. But nonetheless, guys, you can't negate the fact that this thing's looking very, very bullish. It looks like it's totally ready to rampage. And we've been trading this very accurately in the past. We bought dips all into here. I took a bit of profits here, bought back into here, took a bit of profits here, bought back into here. You see the trend. And after a while, I start to back off, right? I start to back off because really, you don't want to be playing this game way too much, right? Because after a while, the market wants to get people wrecked. And I feel like this could be a moment where we might see Octaspace maybe come down for a dip that would be a little bit too low. As long as we stay above $1.60, $1.60 is the target. As long as we stay above it, guys, I remain bullish. If we break below, guys, prepare, because I feel like it might come down to test lower levels. So let's put a horizontal line right into here, so we can highlight the importance of these wicks in this cluster. If we break below $1.50, $1.57, more or less, guys, it's very likely that we're going to start looking for support on the top of the volume gap, even the bottom of the volume gap, and maybe even lower for that matter. But bit by bit, as soon as we see some support, we're ready to get in and start scaling in. Look at the trend. EMA is facing down. A lot of confusion into this level, as you can see. A mix of emotion, a mix of trend, you can see, but ultimately resolved, it looks bearish bullish. EMAs open, facing down, red histogram bars. They are tapering to the upside, and so is the expansions. So there could be divergence, right? There isn't, because the price is also moving up while the trend is slowly shifting to the upside. So there's not much of a divergence. We see the EMAs coming down while this is going up a little bit. So there's a bit of divergence there, and also with the histogram bars upward sloping, as you can see, while the price action is slightly moving up. So there is a bit of divergence, and the oscillator needs to kick in here and identify that very, very soon. It should kick in when the daily candle closes. So you should see that bullish divergence actually implement itself right here with a nice line, and then after that we can kind of see where the volatility and the momentum goes right into here to see if we get that bounce. Okay, so that's that. I feel like there's a bit of a mix of bearish and bullish signals here. I feel like we're a bit early to get into heavy positions, so we're gonna have to just take a look at price action from a sense of risk to reward. I think that's viable. Bull flag, clearly stay above this level. I'm interested. Great. Continuation to the upside. Break below, I feel like we're coming down. Be prepared for this level right here to be hunted. This could be a liquidity hunt. We could come back down to this level. In fact, we can make a slightly lower low and come down to 94 cents. And at that level, I want to see a bottom. I want to see it respect this previous price action. I want to see something being built, some sort of structure where we get a W, an inverse head and shoulder right around here. Cup and handle, Adam and Eve pattern with bullish divergence, and then I'm interested. At this current moment, the only place I would be interested in is right around this level, so I can put a stop loss right underneath the white line. So let me show you what I mean. Let's see how the price reacts here at $1.30. Let's see how the price reacts here at about $1, more or less, 95 cents, more or less. Okay, let's see what kind of reactions we get. And obviously, look at this, guys. We got a fat wall of volume right down here with the point of control. Could be that we come down there, but I want to see where the momentum goes. When the momentum gets oversold, I will then plan out my attack. But at the current moment, I have a few levels I want to watch out for. If we stay above the thick white line, maybe buying right into here. Let me put a setup here. If you buy in right around this level, take some profit right where it is, not bad, and then you put your stop loss 2% below the entry. You're looking pretty good. You have overall a 4.5% risk, and you have a 5.2 to 1 ratio, and you're up 23%. Nice little trade, quick move. Don't take too much risk, because we could double top and then roll over, right? Then what reality is, if it gets stopped out, you're going to be happy that you basically mitigated all that risk, and then we're going to have to wait for oversold conditions on the oscillators. We need to find oversold conditions with bullish divergence if this does not hold up as some sort of bull flag or retracement, for that matter, because it could also be a retracement, and it could even come down and touch the 200 again and bounce to the upside. But until then, guys, I have to be very cautious, because technically we're buying very topish price action here, even though Octaspace is super bullish. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Guys, I'll see you tonight, 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.